Just 2 years ago, Tampa Stadium housed the NFC Central Division champion Buccaneers. It was football's Cinderella story. Tampa Bay went from worst to first in one season. The 1981 Bucs are hoping history can repeat itself. A disappointing 5-10-1 last year, the Bucs have emerged as division leaders this season. With this in mind, you'll forgive John McKay for feeling a bit of deja vu. All McKay's Bucs have to do to clinch the title is win one of their remaining 2 games. Offensive hopes rest on the shoulders of Doug Williams. Williams' strong play has sparked Tampa's 3-game winning streak. Last week against the Falcons, he became only the 4th man in the history of the game to throw for 10,000 yards in his first 4 seasons. In 1981, Williams and tight end Jimmy Giles have combined to help give the Bucs one of the most explosive passing attacks in the NFC. Giles and Kevin House are 2 of the conference's finest deep receivers. But when it comes to explosive offense, nearly everyone takes a back seat to Don Coryell's San Diego Chargers. The Chargers are at it again this season, leading the league in points scored and total offense. The man who makes it all work is Dan Fouts. For the 3rd consecutive season, Fouts has thrown for over 4,000 yards. No other quarterback in football history has done that. While the Chargers' offense reigns as the NFL's best, with Fouts throwing to as many as 8 different receivers, it is their defense that is their Achilles heel. Despite their offensive firepower, San Diego is only 8-6 and fighting for their lives in the playoff hunt. A weak defense has been the cause of many of the Chargers' problems in 1981. San Diego must win if they want to have any chance of making the playoffs, while the Bucs with a victory can ramp up their 2nd division title in 3 years. It's a game with major playoff implications as both teams tune up for what they hope will be a trip to the NFL's postseason party. So come on, sing along as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers host the San Diego Chargers in the NFL Game of the Week. San Diego boasts the NFL's top receiving tight end and number 80 Kellen Winslow. Winslow is so good that he can line up at wide receiver and be equally as effective. That's just what the Bucs were supposed to think. With Winslow wide right, Fouts found another tight end, Eric Sievers, number 85, for the game's first touchdown. Another look at the score shows that Sievers faced one-on-one coverage against linebacker Andy Hawkins, number 59. Sievers simply beat Hawkins over the middle, and the Chargers led 7-0 midway through the first quarter. Not known as a come-from-behind team, the Bucs have done much to change that the past few weeks. Doug Williams appears to be developing the necessary consistency that all top quarterbacks must have. Although only in the first period, Williams and the Bucs didn't waste much time in tying the score. A few running plays didn't net much yardage against the Chargers' powerful front 4. But it was only a matter of time before Williams went to work against San Diego's defensive weakness, the secondary. The Chargers have the worst defense against the pass in pro football, and Williams' big play talents took advantage of this glaring deficiency. Number 83, Theo Bell's catch and carry knotted the count at 7, and it appeared that the 2 teams were going to spend the afternoon trying to outscore one another. Football experts will tell you that it's not a good idea to try to match the Chargers touchdown for touchdown. But the Bucs, on the threshold of a division title, were not interested in such prognostications. Anyway, Tampa has one of the best defenses in the league, particularly against the pass. Defensive coordinator Tom Bass felt that the Bucs defense could stop the Chargers' high-powered offense. For a while, Bass's troops proved him right. But it's tough to keep San Diego's offense down for long stretches. Fouts began to find the range with short to medium distance passes. His main target was 13-year veteran Charlie Joyner, number 18. Using mostly Joyner, but throwing in a completion to Wes Chandler, number 89, Fouts engineered a drive that took the Chargers to the Tampa Bay 8-yard line. Joyner caught 5 passes on this one possession alone, good for 70 yards, as he continually found the open spaces in the Bucs' secondary coverage. From Tampa's 8-yard line, Fouts crossed the Bucs up, handing off to John Cappelletti, number 25, instead of throwing. The result was a San Diego touchdown. Cappelletti, helping to fill in for an injured Chuck Muncie, received excellent blocking on his scoring run. Linebacker Richard Wood, number 54, tried to fill the gap, but ran into traffic as Cappelletti scooted by for the touchdown. Midway through the second quarter, San Diego led 14-7, and things were not looking up for the Bucs. Their proud defense had just been shaken by a 12-play, 90-yard drive, and their offense had stalled 3 consecutive times. The Bucs were having trouble converting third down situations, giving punter Larry Swider more work than he probably wanted. Swider's fine punting and strong overall special teams play forced San Diego to begin their offensive series deep in their own territory, but it didn't seem to matter. The Chargers and Fouts were shifting into high gear, and that was bad news for Tampa. Fouts made sure to give Wes Chandler equal billing with Joyner, so on this drive, the San Diego quarterback went to number 89. Chandler did not disappoint. His intense concentration and guaranteed grip sparked another Charger march down the field. From the Bucs' 15-yard line, Fouts looked to the end zone. What Fouts saw was a great catch, but not by one of his receivers. Number 34, Cedric Brown, intercepted Fouts' poorly thrown ball with less than 1 minute remaining in the half to stop San Diego from taking a 2-touchdown lead at intermission. The interception was Brown's 7th of the season. Of his other 6, he returned 2 for touchdowns, while the remaining 4 led directly to Tampa scores. This time, Brown prevented a touchdown. Brown's diving catch gave the Bucs one last opportunity before the first half ended. While they didn't put any more points on the board, they did get an inspirational effort from tight end Jimmy Giles, number 88. clock ran out with San Diego leading 14-7. As has been the case all year, the Chargers could not take advantage of a golden opportunity. Tight games are no stranger to San Diego. Not surprisingly, it would get even tighter in the second half. The faithful Tampa Bay fans were bedecked in their Buccaneer best in hopes of crowning a division champion. But at the half, the locals trailed the visiting Chargers by a touchdown. San Diego's defense had suffered only one lapse in the first 30 minutes, and if they could keep playing well, they would earn a much-needed win. Tampa had shown only moderate success with a forward pass. So in the second half, the Bucs turned to number 26, James Owens, to try to solve the Charger defense. Owens started slowly but finished with a flourish, paving the way for a 49-yard field goal attempt by kicker Bill Capice. Capice cleared the goalpost with a little despair, and Tampa Bay had trimmed the Charger lead to 14-10. When the Buck defense held San Diego on its next series, the dynamic duo of Doug Williams and Theo Bell returned to continue their first-half heroics. One thing the San Diego defense can still do, however, is get to the quarterback. Number 90, John Woodcock, ended this Tampa march. And then with Charlie Joyner as a decoy, Charger rookie speedster James Brooks, number 21, was free to put his considerable talents to work on a San Diego drive. Brooks played on the same Auburn varsity that produced Buffalo's Joe Cribbs and Atlanta's William Andrews. And Brooks is well on his way to becoming as solid a pro player as they are. But young Brooks still does make occasional mistakes, and this one stopped the Chargers late in the third quarter. Tampa Bay safety Cedric Brown had his second takeaway of the afternoon as the Bucs regained offensive possession. They also continued their strategy of getting the ball to James Owens as often as possible. Owens, like the Chargers' Brooks, is young and loaded with ability, but he too is sometimes prone to error, and his fumble denied Tampa Bay a golden opportunity for its first lead of the day. Fouts and the Chargers were quick to take advantage, stringing together a series of quick passes to Joyner, Chandler, and Dwight Scales, along with some hard running from fullback John Cappelletti. With short yardage ace Chuck Muncie out with injuries, others were tapped for touchdown chores. And this time, James Brooks did the honors. Brooks' score, only his second rushing touchdown of the season, gave the Chargers their biggest lead of the game. With only 11.5 minutes to play, Tampa Bay's dreams of wrapping up the NFC Central crown at home were fading. So quarterback Doug Williams and receiver Kevin House, number 89, decided to do something about it. The 33-yard pass play worked because Williams froze the Chargers with a play-action fake, then threw a perfect strike to House, just over the extended reach of cornerback Willie Buchanan, number 28. On the very next play, Tampa Bay got even better results. Fullback James Wilder, number 32, ran Coach McKay's famed USC student body right play and scored to make it 21-16. But the numbers remained unchanged when Tampa's special teams failed to put across the extra point. This mistake did not seem drastic at the time, but it would loom large later in the day. A small error from Tampa's specialty units had been committed, and it would eventually cost the Buccaneers the ball game. After the Bucs cut the Charger lead to only 5, the Tampa defense became especially rude to their guest from the West. Number 57, linebacker David Lewis and the defense forced Dan Fouts into a very uncharacteristic interception. In just 2 plays, the fired-up Buccaneers had shut down, then stolen the ball away from pro football's mightiest offense. Tampa Bay turned the ball over to Doug Williams and company inside the Charger 25. And the Bucs knew just what to do with it. Give it to James Wilder. Within a 27-second span, the Bucs had taken a page out of the Chargers' book, exploding for 2 quick scores while gaining their first lead of the contest. Plenty of time still remained, but now the players and their orange-covered followers were feeling a whole lot better about such matters as clinching division titles. And when San Diego turned the ball over again on the very next series, folks in Florida were downright gleeful. But then Charger defenders Glenn Edwards, number 27, and Woodrow Lowe, number 51, made the crucial play of the game. Instead of it being Buccaneer ball deep in San Diego territory, it was now Chargers possession with 5.5 minutes left. The Bucs were unable to get the score that might have doomed the Chargers. So now they exhorted the defense to stop what is statistically the most productive offense in the history of professional football. Nobody ever said that job would be easy, and it wasn't. Fouts engineered one of the finest drives of his career, a textbook 16-play march that ate up nearly 5 minutes on the clock. Every offensive weapon in the San Diego attack was utilized as the Chargers painstakingly moved against the tough Buccaneer defense. Finally, on 4th and 3 at the Buccaneer 11, the Chargers were ready to call on kicker Rolf Benerschke for one of the most important placements he would ever attempt. Hanging in the balance was Tampa Bay's division title and San Diego's playoff hopes for 1981. With Benerschke's kick, the Chargers reclaimed the lead, with the difference being the Bucs missed extra point. But it wasn't time for ticker tape parades just yet. Tampa Bay had one more chance, and Doug Williams went for it all when only seconds remained. Once more, the Chargers' hero was Glenn Edwards. The wily 11-year veteran, 34-year-old Edwards, sealed up the win with the interception. Cut before the season and re-signed when the Chargers secondary was in trouble, Edwards has come along just when the San Diego Chargers need him most. With the conclusion of Edwards' run back, the clock expired and the Chargers had a hard-fought 24-23 victory. In no less than 7 San Diego games this year, the outcome has not been decided until the final minutes. The Chargers have lived on the razor's edge, and this time they won. For disheartened Tampa Bay, the tough loss means they must win on the road against the hot Detroit club next week if they are to clinch the Central title. It won't be a simple task. And as for the Chargers, they must beat Oakland and get some help from other teams if they are to return to the playoffs for a 3rd consecutive season. If they can get the kind of helping hand that Glenn Edwards provided in Tampa Bay, then just maybe that famed lightning bolt will be crackling come January. For their fans who love seeing that Charger football in the air, everywhere, all the time, well, that would suit them just fine.